Namaskar, everyone. And namaskar to those of you who are joining online. And of course, namaskar, Guruji. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again for the third day of our global conference. Today, we're going to be discussing co-creating spaces of light. So let's take a moment to come into a moment of centering. And let's take a moment to focus on the breath, coming into present moment awareness, letting go of any stresses of the day that may have come already. Let us recognize that this moment is a moment of light. We are sitting in the field of the Master, a field of light. We can illumine the mind by sending the breath to the mind, the breath to the mental space, the breath to the brow. And we can bring light to the emotional space, the heart space, by breathing into the heart. That is where we can find the light of one another. Let us take a moment for gratitude. Gratitude for this moment. Gratitude that the play brought us here, that we may evolve in our consciousness and we may grow and transform. Gratitude for the gift of the field and the gift of the masters of the light that hold us in their field. And gratitude to the divine for orchestrating the most marvelous path, the most marvelous play, that we may live our life purpose through. And let us breathe into the belly and bring light and vitality into the body, into the gross body. Feeling the earth beneath our feet, feeling the weight of the body and the warmth of the body. Feeling the light of the vitality, the vital being, the light of the emotional being, the light of the mental field. We'll open our session today with the sacred sound of Om, exhaling completely. Inhaling deeply. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you everyone for already having such an amazing field. So we've been speaking about consciousness evolution, and we've been speaking about the ego's journey, our journey in this play. Our destiny is to evolve, and we've been exploring that in the past days. We know that we are a soul in a human experience. We have a gross physical form, but coming into a greater awareness of ourself is what this journey is about. We've been exploring the way that we can transform our own individual identity and our own limitations by coming into a greater awareness of Kundalini, a greater awareness of the energy that we have access to, and a greater awareness of the infinite self that we are. And so today's discussion is a really exciting one on co-creating spaces of light. And when we think of spaces of light, we may think of spaces that are outside of us, spaces that we go to that are filled with light. But the beauty of what Guru said to us yesterday at the end of our session in the afternoon is that we ourselves are beings of light. And that we can begin with bringing light into our own being and lighting up ourself. Our journey, the journey of our ego, is a journey from darkness to light. It's a journey to sattva and bringing the light qualities of our being into fruition and channeling that light into the world around us. So it's all about us. How do we grow our light? How do we grow our light in such a way that we bring light into the spaces around us and we bring light into the world around us? So we know that we can do this by focusing on our chakras. We have centers, power centers of energy, of infinite energy within us, that we can actually channel light into the space from the divine. And we can do this by focusing on the upper chakras first, and then bringing that light from the upper into the lower area so that we can actually hold our physicality in light. We can actually hold our body in light and channel light into wherever we are. That way we become a source of light. And at that navel center, we have the power of Ojas, Prana, Tejas, to bring Tejas, that is the light of vitality, into the whole body, that we become a shining beacon of our practices, a shining beacon of light into the spaces. That we know that there are practices that we can use to light up our being and to continue to grow that light within us. What do we need to do that? We need discipline, we need focus, by tapping into that infinite space and continuing that practice of tapping into infinite self. That's how we can begin to channel light and bring light into our being, fill our own light with being, fill our body with light, fill our mental and emotional spaces with light, be able to channel emotions of goodness into the world, into our field, and have knowledge, wisdom, being able to fill our mind with light, that wisdom may come through and we may act from spaces of wisdom. We may see our world differently when we do so. And how do we protect our light? So when we start to grow this light, we start to feel this light within our being, and we start to impregnate spaces around us with light. How do we actually grow that? We do that by retreating and protecting the growth that we have. Sometimes it may look like going in, spending time in centers of greater light. It may look like staying away from places of darkness that we don't want to engage with until we are so stable in the light that we have that we can do so. We know that when we build our inner light, when our inner light shines so deeply, we're less dependent on light from around us to energize us, because we have our own light source. We know that when we build our inner light, we can make the connection, when we make that connection inside, we can illumine the space around us and we bring light towards us. We attract company that can help support the growth of our light. When one is shining, we attract naturally those who love that shine and may have that shine of their own to join us. And so we can actually start to think about it outside of just our own personal light, to how do we start to think about interpersonal light with those around us? How do we think about light in our space around us? We know that when we are beings of light and we start to channel light into spaces, the physical space around us actually soaks in that light and that energy. That's why we spend time chanting in our spaces. It's why we spend the time putting up beautiful photos in our spaces that bring light into our homes. It's why we play mantras in our space, because it energizes our space and fills it with light. And when we charge our physical spaces so much, when we return to those spaces, that energy is still there. You can feel it. You can feel the energy from the physical space energizing and holding you, continuing to hold us in light. So in that way, our homes become spaces of light. How many of us have a photo that reminds us of our light, at our desks at work or in our car when we're driving? Because those are spaces of light as well. Anywhere that we are, where we are holding on to our light and bringing forward light, become spaces of light. But when we spend the time to intentionally energize our spaces and soak light into those spaces, my goodness, the way that those spaces can hold us when we need it becomes really beautiful. And even more beauty comes when we do that with others. So when we have company around us, when we create sacred spaces where we practice with another person or with other people, and we keep practices of the light that bring light into a space, the light doubles, the light triples, the light becomes so much more expansive. Our light certainly does not diminish by being with others, it only amplifies. And it amplifies the spaces all around us. So can you imagine what happens when we create communities of light with one another, bringing together souls who are light beings? You know already what it feels like because you're in one of those spaces right now. So you know that it energizes our space in a different way. And you know that when I bring light to a space, when you bring light to a space, when Guru's holding us in light, you know what that feels like, and you know that that light is only amplified and amplified and amplified. And then even more, imagine when communities of light are doing this across the world with intention. What happens? What happens to our world? Imagine the light and the spaces that is shining throughout our world. Now, Guru's always telling us about the yuga that we're in right now. We're in a dark yuga. But when gatherings of light happen more and more, and we continue to bring light forward, that's the only way that it will ever shift. Maybe lifetimes from now, who knows? But it's by gathering in spaces of light that this may start to happen. And we see collective spaces around the world. We see mosques, we see churches, we see gatherings. We feel those spaces, we go to those spaces, we visit those spaces, and we feel the power is there, so we know this to be true. You can't help but feel something beautiful and great when you walk into spaces like that. When you walk into the temple here at the ashram, something beautiful happens. You cannot help but become quiet. You can't help but become in awe of the beauty that you feel from inside. I'm sure all of us can think of and can remember what that experience was like when we met the Guru and his light touched us in such a beautiful way. We know the power of the light that we can carry. And for those of you who have been to the ashram, or those of you who are here, you know and understand the beauty of the spaces that are charged with light. The Guru Gita has a verse that actually speaks about the homes of the Master, the homes of the Guru, and the fact that they carry the light and presence of the Master in it. There's a verse there that says that he is holy and pure in all respects, but whatever region or dwelling he happens to be living in becomes inhabited by the multitude of gods. So the light of the divine comes into those spaces. The light of the divine enters those spaces where the Master lives. So how blessed are we all to have access to a space like that, physically, but also to be in the light of the field of the Master. So we may ask ourselves, why do we need temples? Why do we need churches? Why do we need mosques? Why do we need those spaces? It's because when we need to be uplifted and we need to hold on to our light, to protect our light, or to feel our light, those places are so embedded with light. They're so infused with the light of the activities and the prayer and the mantra that's happened in those spaces that you can't help but feel uplifted. So today we'll have a chance to reflect on how are we growing our light? How do we take those steps to light up our being, to channel light from the divine? How do we experience holding our own lower centers in light? How do we experience the energy of spaces of light, and how does it actually help us in our transformation? And how can we work towards creating collective spaces of light? And of course, how do we bring that light wherever we are? Yesterday we spoke so incredibly about the fact that sadhana doesn't necessarily have to be in Guru Gita, it doesn't have to be in meditation, it doesn't have to be in our spaces, it doesn't have to be on the mat. Our sadhana and our light can actually be wherever we are. We can bring light wherever we are. And that is one of the marvelous things of the play. So today we'll be reflecting on this with Guru, and we'll have the chance to hear about some of the sacred principles of architectural design as well. Guruji, I don't know if you want to do that now or if we hand it to you first.
No.
Yeah.
We need to have a conversation around this.
Great. Excellent. So with that, I hand you over to Guru. Thank you so much, everyone.
Namaskar, everyone. So welcome to Day-03. And I want to thank you for making this journey with me or with us over the last 2 days. And I want to thank those of you who have given feedback to me via emails and our conversations, of course. I'm very gratified, very pleased with the kind of response I've seen for the conference and the changes that are happening in the space. Yesterday I spoke to that, saying that no matter how many times we hear the truth being spoken, at some point it means a lot more to us than when we first heard it. So we should never tire of hearing truth spoken again and again. And every time that we hear it, we should open up our minds to learn something more from it. That's why I keep on saying the same thing for years and years, in the hope that at some point you will catch it. If you didn't catch it the first or second time, or third time, or fourth time, or the many times, but at one point you will catch it. That's my hope, my hope. And I think in this conference, many of us are making another step. So thank you so much for that. As Shreya would have said, the first day we spoke to consciousness evolution. And how important that is, that we must be able to see that in the world an evolution in consciousness. Even though we see like the Darwinian theory of species and the evolution, the adaptation to changing environments, so too there is a spiritual evolution within us as a human species. There's a spiritual evolution within us from darkness into light, and that is a play, a karmic play. So when you carry that wisdom, the world becomes a different place, and much more so when on the second day we spoke about the tools for personal evolution and consciousness, and which was yesterday. And so you could see the power you have to consciously evolve, because when we don't exert that power, we unconsciously evolve, because the universe is expressing itself in and through us, and the universe is driving the evolution, not we who think that we are driving the evolution. So when we are unconscious of it, the universe is directing it. When we are conscious of it, we are co-creating, because we are aligning to the universe and working with her in evolving. So that's co-creation. So when we are unconscious of it, that's unconscious evolution and consciousness driven by the universe only, not us. And like I said to Survi, even if you sit still, she's gonna kick you on the butt and get you up. She'll light a fire below you. And so it shows that the karmic process is based on evolution in consciousness. Today we want to speak up about the effect of that light, when we open up ourselves to that light, what that light can do. Now, in terms of, I want to refer to Christ when he said, "You are the light." And of course, one of my books with my messages says the same, "You are the light." What does that mean? That you are the light. It means that you have the power to light up the mind. What does it mean to light up the mind? The Vedas has the mantra Gayatri. And Gayatri mantra is a call to the light. Om Bhur, Om Bhuva, Om Swaha. Om Mahar, Om Jana, Om Tapo, or Tapaha, Om Satya. It is a call to all the chakras with their centers of light. And then it says, Tat Savitur Varenyam. Tat means transcendent. That the light is coming from a transcendent space, from the void. It's coming from the beyond space. Tat Savitur. Savitur means like the sun. Varenyam means worshipable. Tat Savitur Varenyam. Bhargo means sin cleansing. Bhargo Devasya means like the gods, divine. Dhimahi, it means you meditate, to meditate upon. Dhiyo means intellect. Dhiyo yona prachodayat. Please illumine my intellect. O transcendent, cleansing light, divine light, please illumine my mind. What does it mean? An intellect, it says in particular. Please illumine my intellect. The intellect is the reasoning part of us. It's the processing tool of the mind. It says bring light into that. So it's a call to be enlightened. It's a call to be wise. It is a call to be more conscious. It's a call to be more aligned to the universe and its evolution. Dhiyo yana prachodayat. So Hindus, when they wake up in the morning and they see the sun rising, just how the sun has removed the light of the night, so too may that transcendent light within me enlighten my mind. Why enlighten the mind? So my day will be different. So I can open up the heart to light up my heart. What happens when your heart, okay, let's start with the mind. What happens when the mind becomes wise? Our words are filled with light. Our thoughts are filled with light. They're full of goodness. So that is the light of wisdom. And when we have that intellectual openness, capacity, power, we can direct the heart to bring the love, to bring love into this space. And what does love do? What does love do? It makes you happy. It makes you glow. That's a paraojas. It makes you glow. It makes the body shine. It makes you smile. It makes you say beautiful things to each other. It makes you kind, compassionate. So that's a light. Do you see people who are selfish, how dull their eyes are? You cannot trust them. And do you see when people are unselfish, how their eyes glow? You know that that light in those eyes is coming from somewhere else. You can trust. You can trust that soul. That's the first thing I do. When I look into the eyes, I can tell. And those who are shady and you can't trust them, you see the eyes look different. And the eyes of an aggressive person, like a monster, like a reptile. So just looking into the eyes, there's a saying that the eyes are the windows of the soul. How can we light up the eyes? And that's very powerful in human communication. We say to the Guru in the beautiful hymn, we sing, Jota sa Jota Jagao, Sadguru, Jota sa Jota Jagao, light my life with your light. When the Guru looks into your eyes, when the one who is transcendent looks into your eyes, your soul can light up. Your own soul can be ignited or kindled and light up. That's the power of what can be transmitted through the eyes. And when the Guru thinks of you, a Shakti can come into you, and that's how an illumined mind and intellect can generate such thought power to wake up your own energy inside, that your mind will start getting a jolt and a shift. And if the Guru touches you, that is the incredible Manipura and heart chakra coming through those hands, directed by the intellect. Coming through those hands, because the intellect has to direct. Coming through those hands, and those hands can become electrified with heart power, with gut power, and with thought power. So you see how incredible that is if you're receptive? And we talk about spaces where the master lives and how incredible those spaces are. But I want to speak to you because there's a guru inside of you. And the more the guru inside of you wakes up, the more you do the sadhana to wake up that consciousness inside of you. And the more you can touch that guru consciousness, then you begin to feel like I am guru. You begin to feel that I'm in oneness with the guru. When the guru speaks, I feel that I don't have to use intellect to know. It just seems to be a download into my own mind and soul. I concur. I feel so comfortable to just listen to the guru because I feel my whole being opening up and I am understanding without having to think. That is the power that you can wake up in you so you can understand the guru even better. So when we pray for the awakening of Guru Tattva, and that's the prayer of the Guru Gita, it opens us up to understand the Guru in a deeper way and to feel like the Guru. And not only that, but when we begin to speak, if we have received this powerfully enough and we have made that shift, when we speak to someone, we almost feel that the Guru is speaking in and through us to the other person. And when we look at someone, we feel that our eyes are becoming the Guru's eyes. And when we touch someone, we feel something is happening through that touch. When we align to the Guru, that happens. And you know, if you have a true Guru, even if the Guru says nothing to you, you can still carry this power. In the Mahabharata, there's a story of Eklavya. Eklavya was a tribal boy, indigenous people. And Dronacharya, the great master archer and teacher, he didn't want to teach a tribal boy because this little boy wanted to learn. Because he taught only the royal princes. But Eklavya was so strong-hearted. He says, okay, you don't want to teach me, but I'm still going to worship you. I'm still going to honor you. I'm still going to pray to you. So he created a clay model of Dronacharya. And he prayed to that clay model. And do you know what happened? He got all the powers of archery, even better than the princes. When I went to Baba Bhutan's ashram, Shaktipat master, I didn't meet him. I had no physical touch from him. I didn't look into his eyes. But the space itself was such a powerful space that I had a tremendous heart awakening in this space. I didn't meet him, and I wouldn't meet him till 2 years after. But I felt that I met him in this space. When I listened to his voice, I felt lifted by the voice. Didn't meet him. I started to create an inner relationship with him. And I only read a book about the Om Guru Mantra. And I read about the power of Guru. And somehow I felt I know this. And I started to follow that way of the Guru. Didn't meet him. And I only met him 2 years after. And when I met him, I was so in touch with the Kundalini and the inner Guru that every effort I made to honor him as a physical Guru didn't work because my eyes only saw a man. But when I closed my eyes and I focused on Kundalini, then I saw what the Guru was. It was the power inside of the being. So I used to close my eyes in those meetings. Little meetings, such things like how we are speaking here. Now I'd close my eyes and I would just focus on that voice that I was hearing inside, and I felt this incredible connection with him, more than the physical. So much so that when I finished my program there after 2 months and I was ready to leave, I didn't even think of asking for a meeting with him. But I was reminded by the lady from Trinidad who was there, "You're not going to meet Baba?" I said, "Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Please, take a basket of fruit and request an interview and go." And I did. And that was the best thing I could have ever done. Because the incredible blessing then, after those 2 months, in meeting him and following him inside, it was more than incredible because I was able to hold his feet like a father. And so it's sometimes in India you call Father Baba. So they always call him Father, Baba Muktananda. So I went and held those feet. Oh my God, I felt completely united with the energy inside of him. I kept my head on his feet for a while. And I felt totally aligned to him, and I didn't care for anything. And then while I was down, I felt his walking stick on my back. And I thought, oh my God, I couldn't get a better blessing than that. And when I opened my eyes, I thought, this being changed my life. Why don't I ask him for a name? Because I don't think that I resonate to my past name. And then he closed his eyes, bent back his head, and then he said, Vasudeva. And that has become the name, Vasudeva. So, and the name he chose was such a perfect name because it means the light that dwells in all. And that's how I see life, that's how I see people, that's how I see the universe. So that was perfection indeed. So I saw how the divine orchestrated that I could get a name that is about the divine light that dwells in all. So what I want to say to you, that lighting up any space, passing the light to others, begins with us. If we don't transform our energies, we can't transform any space. If we live in dullness and ignorance and selfishness and lust and greed, our eyes will never be able to transmit that power of love. And our voice will not be able to transmit the power of wisdom. So it is important for us to begin that self-transformation that we spoke about yesterday. If we want to light up us first and then light up the world. Actually, we should not be dependent on gurus. We should never be dependent on gurus. Take their instruction and begin the journey ourselves. The greatest of the disciples are those who would take the instruction and live it, make it alive. You don't need a blessing from the guru every time. If you make the teachings alive, then that's a greater blessing. And the 70th birth anniversary of this body is coming up. What is the greatest gift you could give to me as a teacher? It's to transform your lives. Not the shawl that you gave me, or the mango that you gave me, or the flower that you gave me. That's fine. I share them, or I have a taste of it. But what is more important is when I see you light up, when I see you transform, and when I see you transform those around you, and when I see you transform the world around you, that is what makes me incredibly happy. You couldn't give me a better gift. And that's my treasure on this earth plane. It is how many people whose lives I have transformed, how many of you have lifted. That's my worth, what I've done, because I came to the world for that. I didn't come to the world to accumulate wealth. Everything I get goes into this, or goes to people. That is not important to me. I share whatever I get. What is more important to me is how much enlightened you have become, how much full of light you have become. That's my goal. In my every meeting with you, in my every process of relationship with you, that's what I try to bring out of you. I demonstrate it for you, and I hold you in the light until you can catch it. Until you can catch it. So it begins with us. But I want to say something to you. When I go into a car, let's say I go into somebody's car, they say, Guruji, can you bless my car? So the way I bless the car is to go and hold the steering wheel and connect to the entire car. It's like if I'm touching the lingam, I feel I'm touching all of the earth, the whole earth. That's true. Wherever I touch a lingam, I connect to the earth. So when I go to the car, I feel I'm connected to every part of the car. That's how I bless the car and I pray. But when I hold the steering wheel, do you know that I can tell about the person who drove this car? How stressed they are, how sattvic they are, how rajasic they are, or how tamasic they are. And I would but if I begin to feel those energies, I'll massage the wheel until I feel the energies change. Or if I go sit in a chair, I can tell how tired the person is, exhausted they are, who sat in the chair. So just to say that we transmit energies to all our spaces, our beds, our chairs, our sofas, our rooms. Do we understand that? And if I walk into somebody's prayer room, if I can tell whether there is sincere prayer in there, because it impacts my energy. Or if there's lack of prayer, if the person is just praying like a parrot inside there. So we have the power to energize our homes and everything we touch. Because you can touch a crystal forever, but you cannot give energy to the crystal because the crystal will keep the energy. You cannot give energy to the crystal unless you can personally generate it. And through your palms you generate energy, through your eyes you generate energy, through your chakras you generate energies into the space. So if you're a little bit more conscious, and we are speaking of consciousness evolution, you will energize everything about you. And what Treya would have remarked, when you come back into that space, you can feel it. So today we want to speak about how conscious we can become of lighting up the mind, the heart, the navel center, as a center of vitality that can revitalize your cells. Because when you begin to charge up the navel, you give the whole body metabolic power of creating more energy in all the cells. You feel the firepower of the gut coming to every cell, impacting the mitochondria in every cell. It's amazing. So, and the other impactful thing is, and this is what made me a good teacher, a better teacher. Not a good teacher, I thought I was a good teacher before. And here I'm speaking about teaching at the schools. Because I left my work in the industry at 20. I went into teaching because I felt my job wasn't humanitarian. So when the person who was one of my bosses asked, "Why are you leaving this job?" Because my plan then was to study engineering, but from school. So I said, I don't think that I want to work with equipment anymore. I want to be humanitarian. I'm going to teach. And he said, "Okay, I understand." I was surprised that he said, "I understand." And but I went into teaching, and then I was going through this transformation of looking, searching, and I tried to be the best teacher in those days. But when I came back from India after 21, I went back into teaching at this very same school. I was a different teacher. I taught with love. I taught with love. Love opened my heart to teaching, and it was the most beautiful thing, because I didn't think I was teaching. It was God and I who was teaching. It was the divine and I who were teaching. It was the sweetest thing in the world. And I stayed in that profession until the 40 days. After the 40 days, I taught for a year after the 40 days. My God, but teaching, I couldn't manage the classroom because I was teaching the younger ones. I didn't know how to manage a classroom then because the energies were different. I was so energy sensitive that I couldn't handle the classroom. So I went back into industry, and that was a whole other story. After all of that industrial field, I came into the Blue Star, and this is a whole different kind of teaching. This made me perhaps the ultimate teacher. And so lighting up the heart of another has always been special to me. With my eyes, with my voice, with my hands, with my association, I light up my world. I've touched the lives of all of you. How can we aspire to touch the lives of those who are around us, or those who are in a relationship with us? Do we see that inner light, when lit, can transform our lives? And that's why thank you for all the emails that you have sent to me and all our conversations, because you speak to me about your self-transformation, and I feel happy that I could be an instrument in that. And when I hear you say, I'm Vasudeva, I can feel you, I can feel the power, and I don't need to see you, but I can feel you. I feel happy that you're becoming like me. And when you do what I do, sharing that wisdom, sharing that light, sharing that love, being selfless, living for others as a major purpose, I feel tremendously happy. And I wish that this conference can generate so much more of that. Because that's the way of the Blue Star, to light up the world. I didn't think of a name for Blue Star. As you would have known, that Blue Star was given to me. My mother was able to bring that to me in such a phenomenal way, a trance-like kind of experience. And she said, I'm seeing this master, and he's saying to tell you to call your organization the Blue Star. And I'm thinking, oh my God, why Blue Star? Boy, couldn't it be a Sanskrit name? But no, I saw the appropriateness of Blue Star. The Hopi Indians, in their literature, spoke about the return of the Blue Star. And the book of predictions I wrote in, it says the return of the Kundalini energy. So that tells me something. And Baba Muktananda, in his autobiography, spoke of sitting in a Blue Star as a vehicle and going to the different lokas. So Blue Star is that. It's a Kundalini energy, and it's that vehicle for transformation, not only of self, but of our world. So I see where that name, and it was only then when I read these things that I felt very comfortable with the name and use it with pride. That it's a divine organization full of light. So that's what we all are. And I want to generate this conversation today. How do you resonate with what I've said? How do you resonate with what I have said? Do you feel that power coming through you in your relationship with others? Do you feel when you go deeper within that you can awaken those forces of light to make your own self brighter? Can you start your day with that inner brightness? Can you sustain it during the day? And whilst I say this, I want to say to you that one of the reasons why I tell you to use mantra, and lately I've been emphasizing it, is because that can sustain the energy that you wake up, that you awaken in you during your morning period. You can sustain you. If you're repeating the mantra throughout the day, it keeps that energy with you. But if you just let your mind be open to random thoughts, you will lose what you have done in the morning. Let's say that you've begun that process of awakening and strengthening your energies in the morning. If you don't put a mantra in there, and if you don't stay in the present moment by the strength of your mind and your willpower, the Shaktis, then what's going to happen? You're going to lose it. And then your nervous system begins to become depressed. And you become irritable with people, you become short-tempered. You don't see it. But if you keep that mantra there in you with happiness and with present moment awareness, something happened. It stays with you. It stays with you. So some of us, we underplay the mantra. We don't think that it has this power to sustain us. But it does. It does. So don't feel that the mantra is child's play. It's for those who are not mature. It's for those who are taking the first steps. Those who are masters also repeat the mantras. Just to strengthen the vibration in any field. To create resonance, to grow the energy in any field. That's what I do. If I want to intensify the field, I bring the mantra in and I keep on saying it. And you can see in the chanting what I do. I use it mantras. And I chant it with you until you become quiet. Until you become, your hearts open up, your minds open up, your whole being opens up, and then you feel incredibly different. So, how can we be so forgetful of the tools? How can we become so caught in emotional challenges and mental challenges when we have tools? When we have the tools of intelligence? When we have tools, how do we do that? That's why we need to come together. That's why we need to stay together. That's why we need to synergize together. That's why we need to resonate together. That's why we need spaces of light. Personal spaces and community spaces. We need spaces of light. That's why we have this ashram. That's why we will have Vrindavan as a major center of light. That's why I try to inspire you across the world to create those same things. And I hope in this conference we can become more excited and motivated to really bring change into the world. And this conference, I'm hoping that those of you who have it within you, that you will become motivated and excited about the future. Because in this leg of my life's journey, that is what is important to me. How can I create such powerful spaces with you? How can we co-create these spaces that we all can live in this highly energetic field, like a dome, that we can create a dome of energy that we live in, a shield. And those of you who feel inspired, I hope that you will join with me in doing this. Together we can make it stronger. Together we can make it stronger. So I leave the conversation now with you. Let's discuss how we can co-create spaces of light. And just to have a conversation around how you feel about what I've said this morning, what you have heard from Shreya. How do you feel? Again, take the same cue as yesterday. If something comes up in your heart to speak, don't hold it back. Don't hold it back, because it's the voice of the universe. And I want every voice to speak that the universe wants. Every voice to speak that the universe is urging, that she, Kundalini, is urging. Yeah. I see that Suriti is there. Yes, Suriti? Well, you've been part of my trial with Vrindavan and, of course, the ashram. And tomorrow I think we'll be speaking about the sustainable communities. But today is how do we get into that sacred space that we can take it into those sustainable communities. Yeah, go ahead, Suriti.
Namaskar, Guruji, and everyone. So good to be together again.
Oh, thank you.
With the what really struck me is I just bought a new home upon my mother's transition, and it happened right in the middle of the 40 days. So I had been following from my mom's home and ended up the latter half of it was here in the new home. And I know the power of the discipline having lived with you over 9 years. But when you're out there, I don't do that every day, but it was just amazing to me to see again what the discipline and the chanting and just, connecting with your presence. And I myself, I've never felt my chakras as strongly and more as definitively as began during that 40 days, and it's still there. Now it's like, wow, navel, I can tell you're right there, right now. It has been just an amazing journey. And speaking of your blessing the car, because I had a car to bless, and you sent me what you do and said, I'll be there with you. I've since blessed my latest car, and I used the same to bless the house and the whole property. And for me, it's sort of a reignition of the discipline and the energy that comes from the practices. I could feel this is bringing light to my place. This is attracting an energy I want. And having listened to you this morning, I'm even more inspired to get back into it. Using the mantra, absolutely. Caught myself wandering yesterday, and there came Om Namah Shivaya, and
Sweet.
immediately there's settling of the energy and the mind. So we have the tools. We just have to use them and not keep them dead.
Absolutely. So music to my ear. Yeah, and we look forward to you joining us in the Vrindavan at some point.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Yeah. Thank you, Suriti. Mahesh.
Namaskar, namaskar.
Namaskar.
You hear me?
Perfectly.
Perfect. I'm right now at a meeting and I'm holding here meditations. I could never do this alone. I was just doing the singing, I was doing the mantras, and she's guiding me all the way, so I can fully resonate what you are telling me. I can even feel the energy of my own car. When I was not in the mood, next day I feel the wheel, how it is. Wow, Guruji is an amazing journey, and I'm totally blessed with you, within, without, and I can also totally resonate with that, what you said earlier, that this is my highest joy, when I feel people or she singing not only through me, but also through my companions, my musicians. That's the magic. I'm living only for that.
That's beautiful.
For a while.
Yeah, and I see
And
Atala.
thank you so much.
I see Atala as well in attendance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank
and
you.
I'm so happy to join and be with you again. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
keep
thank
the
you for
music going.
everyone.
Keep the mantras
Yeah,
going.
it's going.
And keep charging up Hungary.
New album. Yeah, we do that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
Vasudeva
Mahesh.
Vasudeva Kutumbakam.
Yeah, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Thank you. The whole world is one family. Yeah, thank you, Mahesh. Okay, Vashishta and Henriette.
Namaskar, Guruji.
Namaste, namaskar.
In fact, the last speaker told a lot of what my experiences are. In the first place, I have to say that your talk from the last 45 minutes is most inspiring. It's so resonating with me, and I recognize a lot of what you told us. I recognize that in our home we have a weekly little group who is talking about your speeches and meditating together. And every time the energy is raising more and more when the little group is coming together over here. And I believe and I feel that it have influence on our home.
Yeah,
And
beautiful.
yes, and we lived here now for about 25 years. I never lived that long in one house. And we started the first year to invite the neighbors when the new year is starting. And they're always coming to our place on one of the first days of the new year, and we drink some coffee and have some talk. Nothing special, but you can feel that, I can feel that it is raising the energy in the group of the
It
neighbors
does.
directly around us.
Yeah, it's amazing how the whole
Yes,
place comes alive when we bring the Master's presence.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the wonderful thing is, or maybe the strange thing, there are a lot of pictures of you and from other masters in our home. Nobody asked about it, but also nobody have something against it. They accept it as just something what belongs to Henriette and to me.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I love having the pictures of the Masters around.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, my sister. Yeah, thank you for the contribution, Henriette as well. Yes, who is the hand there? It's Kripa.
So good.
Yes, Kripaji.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
What I like to share is over the last few days, we created together a circle of light around Bhaktam
Yes.
on special time. And I can feel the power of that circle that we create together at all different places. You feel what is happening from your own home, and you create it together. And yeah, it's magical. It's just magical what's happening.
Yeah,
The
the
power we
universe is inspiring it.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah, thank you for that. And thank you for supporting him the way that you're doing. And the group there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Keep it up, Kripa. Yes, who would like to share? Ramanaji, would you like to say anything? How does this conversation impact you?
Yes, Gurudev. It's funny how I'm ready to press the button and here you call me. So we're connection. Oh, wow, Guru, what a morning, what a morning.
Absolutely.
What when you're speaking just now at the end of it, it's just reflecting, I feel like I'm in the Olympics. You set, I'm in that pole vaulting event, and you set the bar so high. But you know what, Guru? If I feel that it doesn't matter if I clear that bar, is if once I can reach up to the heights, as
Beautiful.
close as possible to that bar, I'm happy.
Fantastic.
Yeah, wonderful inspiration this morning, Guru, and namaskar to all. Truly feeling the love of everyone. Feel inspired, Guru. But yes, the word, a lovely word that Shreya brought to today, about being like the beacons of light, and that's how I felt even in all my years having been blessed by you with that Shakti path. Um, my own personal growth, where I am now. I look back now, and I'm so inspired with you. You're celebrating your 70th. I'm not too far behind you, but yet I feel that fire. I feel that fire that is being rekindled, and that being in where we are now in Florida. Um, it's a space now we're opening up. We're opening up. Bhavani and I. We have created a lovely space of offering yoga and wellness to our community. And that is so fulfilling. Am I on still? Or?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
hearing
sorry.
you.
Yeah, sorry.
But do you
Yeah.
know that the universe, it's a way of aligning to the universe. Because the universe is going to sustain you and it's going to sustain the center when it's promoting such goodness, when it's promoting such well-being to the community. And so the divine protects such spaces and empowers such spaces. So the value is not just to see people becoming well, but to be aligned to the universe and its trend of expanding the consciousness of the world and well-being of the world. So I just want to say how happy I am with that idea. Bhavanaji gave me a little idea about it, but yes, I'm very happy about that. I've lost your voice. I've lost your voice.
Unmute?
Yeah, I got you.
Yes. So, Guru, just a few days into this conference, there's so much shift of consciousness happening. It's just a beautiful. I was sharing with everyone the last couple of days and my own family of this expansive consciousness. It was just a concept all the years. Would you believe it? And all of a sudden, there's a shift where the heart just seemed to open up. And everything in the entire universe, especially in this conference, is opening up the space so beautifully. I am becoming one with all, and all. I'm feeling that, and that's one. I'm just sauntering in this bliss. So I both of Bhavani and I had a chat last night, and we shared it with Adi Dave too, and we feel inspired now for the next step. The next step of expanding this, whether it's opening another center,
Yes.
or a home, and sharing that because we feel strongly with our own community based on what we have what we've been blessed with you, and over the years of practice, it is now coming. It's receptive now from the community.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is that you create a family of souls. So it's not like a selfish pursuit. It's really, like I said, aligned to the universe, and it's an offering to the universe. Here you're offering your life as a teacher and as a disciple and a practitioner, same as Bhavaniji, and you're offering that to the universe. So at this point in your life, you couldn't make a greater offering of self to life itself. So
Well said, Guru.
I stand
That's it.
proud.
I thank you for your grace.
Thank you.
Okay, namaskar. Thank you all. Love
Yeah,
you all.
Namaskar, Ramanaji. Ellen, would you like to say anything? Yeah, there you are.
Namaskar, Gurudev.
Namaskar.
Thank you.
Great to have you in the conference.
Thank you. Yeah, wonderful to be here. My offering, as we are talking about that, is a weekly circle of prayer and meditation, healing prayer and meditation. And always get my inspiration from you, of course.
Thank you.
So it's been going on for 7 years now. I couldn't believe when we went back into our book, because we write down names of people we're praying for and so on. And sometimes we sit outside in the garden in the sisters' grounds, which are very full of light and sacredness. So, but also the first night of the conference, I had a dream that I could hear in the ashram the Sangha saying, "Why is Guru going out daily into town?" and then this picture came, like you are holding a flower and you're sitting on a bench or somewhere in town and offering this flower to this person who had been sitting on the bench, like, and that you were walking through town, roaming through town during the afternoon, sharing your goal. And I thought, yeah, that's, that's
That's
what it
beautiful.
is.
That's what I'm doing.
And last night, again, this picture of New York City and all the rooftops of the skyscrapers, and there's people there,
Beautiful.
and they're sort of sharing the truth, because
Beautiful.
that's what you want. That's what you want. And
Beautiful.
so it's nice to connect with everyone and with you this way. And the retreat we had not so long ago
Yes.
was certainly full of light and your presence
Absolutely.
as well. So
Absolutely,
thank you
Elaine.
so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you for being a part of that. Let me ask you a question while you're there. And what happens when you think of the Guru? When you bring the Guru to mind? Of course, dreaming the Guru means that you have a connection with the Guru. But what happens when you bring the Guru to mind, either in your meditation group, or when you bring the Guru's presence? What happens?
Well, it's like I think of the inner Guru at the
Well,
same
it's one.
time.
It's one.
Yeah, and it's like right away it just perks me up
The
and
magic
puts me
happens.
right in a spot and grounds me, and it's like a jumper cable, grounded in the earth, in the heaven, and the spark
Right.
opens in the heart.
So let me just say
Yeah.
that connecting to the outer Guru is a way of bringing your inner Guru into manifestation and to lighting up your own self. So you are experiencing the power of your own self. But the Guru is only an aid to making it happen. It's like lighting up a stove, let's say a gas stove. You just need a lighter to give a light, but then the stove has its own fuel, or a candle.
Yes.
The candle has its own fuel, but it just needs a light. So when you bring the Guru creates that magic. And it lights up your own inner power, your own inner space. So it gives you an ability to see your own power, just through that ignition, that
Definitely.
kindling.
Yeah.
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 But thank you. I know
Mhm.
I know and feel the connection you have with me.
Yeah, and whether I see you, not see you, it seems the same. It
Absolutely.
remains the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, girl.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, the floor is open for those who are inspired. Prabha, would you like to say anything at this point? I know you'll come on tomorrow as well, but it's nice to see your face there. Do you want to share a little wisdom? Great to see you. And I see that your space is full of the masters.
Yeah, this morning I thought I should not have my normal empty white background, but I actually put a virtual background of the opposite wall in my room. So it's actually the wall I'm looking at, just above my screen.
Got
You also
it,
see
got it,
right
got
here.
it. Yeah, intelligent. Yeah.
I was thinking that the spaces of light that you are describing, being in the company of people from Blue Star, people who have that connection to you as well, doing the discipline of the Blue Star, but also just being with the people. I think that's the most important one. Once they have that connection to you, and being in the spaces that we energize together, that's really where I wish I could be always, and where I feel at my best. And I grew up without like basically any spirituality around me, no, not even religion, no spirituality. And I remember often feeling so out of place in the world, and especially in my teenage and student years, the main thing that people do for fun is to go out to bars and drinking and dancing. And I really remember like being in such a place and then trying to go along with the dancing and thinking by myself like, how is this supposed to be fun? And everyone else around you is really enjoying it, and I just felt like I had to fake enjoying it. And I think that feeling of having to fake enjoying life, even my work, even my study, everything, it was everywhere until I met you and until I started being in these spaces. So I guess I wish they were around more. I mean, we have that virtually as well, and I actually see myself being less and less in the physical company, in physical spaces in the past few years. Somewhere in the Netherlands, we actually have less of it than we used to have, which is a little bit of a pity. Um, I started going to Amma Center because that's very nearby. I do feel like it's kind of the same thing, even though I feel like still a little bit out of place because I feel like you are my guru and that is the same energy, but it's still different. But at least it's the company, and at least it's a space of light, and at least it's a place where I can also be of service because I help doing the sound there. So
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your relationship with the guru and how that keeps you steadily in the light when life tends to become challenging. I know you hold on to that. So let's speak about how you try to sustain the light within you through your relationship with the guru as a source of light, steady light. Because I know that from you're a physics expert, but I know from that idea of the field, the energy field of the guru, how does it impact your own physical field or your own field of being? How do you see that potential of synergy with the guru? Okay. Energetically, how would you speak to your experience with Sri Vasudeva?
well, you're never far from my conscious thoughts, and of course I write to you a lot as well, and your pictures are everywhere in my house, and the discipline is there, and I listen to your meditations multiple times a day, and all of those things is just it's my whole life, and that has been so since the moment I met you. So that's never really far away.
But I know that's work in progress, right? Like, for example, trying to get to where the guru is instructing you to go, or trying to become stable in that. Speak a little bit to that.
The extent to which I can feel you inside is growing, and it's not as stable as I want to, but it's growing well over the years, and I guess it always frustrated me that I can feel you intensely from within, and I can feel like sometimes that I am you, and that it's like you're in my arms, you're in my legs, you're in my entire being, but I cannot feel that at my command. So I would feel it in a program with you, or I would feel it specifically just after meeting you physically. Like if I would talk to you and be in the ashram, talk with you, at the moment I wouldn't feel it, and then I would leave, and it was like suddenly you were all in my being. That has transitioned into being with you and feeling you at the same time, which is actually a really funny feeling, because then it feels like I'm seeing you, but I'm also feeling like I am you, and that's kind of like an interesting experience. So that has been growing.
Yeah.
And like right now, I can also feel you a little bit in that way as well. But it doesn't stay yet. It's not like you always tell me, I just have to think of you and it will be there. But that's something that my mind still struggles with. Like, okay, I'm not feeling it. I want to feel it, but I start thinking of you. And now you say I should be feeling it. And then I go into like this mode of, but am I feeling it yet? No, I'm not.
But the steadiness will come. One last question to you. Do you feel that the space around you, because I see how your home is filled with all of these, do you feel that when you leave the space at home and come back to it, that the space itself has something because of them?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like when I go on a holiday, I used to not go on holidays a lot and just go to the ashram, but now recently I've also like was traveling with my parents and things like that, and then it's always like the moment I come back in my old space, it's like, oh yes, this is like
Good.
like a little sanctuary. And of course, I also do feel like it fluctuates. And if I have other people in my home, then I sometimes need to change that again a little bit. And cleaning helps a lot. That I always feel like after I've cleaned, it's like back to better again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I don't like cleaning, so that's a challenge.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Prabha. All right, so would anybody from Romania like to share? Or Satyadev, would you like to say anything? Texas, would you like to say anything about lighting up your own light, creating sacred space, feeling that your space at home is sacred? Would you like to say anything? You've been with me for a long time.
There we go. Namaskar, Guruji, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly, son.
Yeah, namaskar. So I've just been, I agree with the speakers that have gone just before me. There's just been so much evolution that's been happening in these last few days. And I haven't been present in all the sessions, but I've been trying to catch up on YouTube. But I just have to say that even this morning when I was driving, there have been, realizations where the Guru is ever present, and I have a very strong relationship. It really is like the divine romance, as described by Paramahansa Yogananda. I feel the Guru as a friend, as a constant companion. The energy is very, very strong. I do have daily challenges, of course, but I have a much stronger and better relationship with the Guru. My ego and the Guru has a very, very good relationship. It's a strong relationship. It's like a friend. It's like someone that's always there, that's ever present, always loving me, holding me, taking care of me.
Beautiful.
So that's what I'd like to share.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
So, namaskar.
Namaskar. Yeah, anybody here would like to share? Krishna Priya, Indira Narayani, anyone of like Reshmi, who in the hall would like to share? Madhavi, Veer, yeah. Who would like to share? Okay, let's take it, Narayani.
Namaskar, Guruji. Namaskar, everyone. This morning you said quite a lot. I did go back to the last 2 days. Last night I was up late. I go to bed with your voice most nights, even though I fall asleep during your talks, but that carries me. But what struck me, what I liked this morning when you said we are a light, and how we could transform the mind with that light, not just transforming the body, the heart, but how we could transform the mind to be positive. And I want to say a true testament to me. In my home, I create that beautiful space. So sadhana for me is like in every moment. I play the mantra, I get up with that. I'm in my garden, as you know, every morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock. And the birds are there, and I'm with my plants, and I have music playing out. I have a speaker now in the gazebo, so I put on my music. And I could see the transformation, like with my neighbors too.
Oh, very nice.
What it is creating with them. And when they come to my house, like, they just love the space. They would sit and enjoy a cup of tea, or whoever comes to my house. It's something that transforms them. So I have to say it's sadhana for me, and the space, like I like my incense. I'm all day connected to you, and I could bring you, so your presence to me, like I could just bring you to me, and sometimes I even feel like you are thinking of me. It is so strong.
Beautiful.
When I bring you. And as to my car, I like how you brought up that. Every morning I go to my car, I always remember you. And I do that. I do what you did that morning, blessing my car, and that's how I begin my day.
Sweet,
Yeah,
beautiful,
so
beautiful, beautiful.
thank you.
Yeah, that's wonderful sharing. Harry?
Namaskar, Gurudev. Namaskar, everyone. What can I say? Everything that you said today, I just felt it in my heart, like my own self was speaking. And yeah, I felt very powerfully that, yeah, became very clearly, this is what is my life, and this is how my life should be, like my own transformation, and the tremendous excitement to touch the lives of all the people that I interact with. And I felt the greatest fulfillment in this. And I'm not stable yet as I want to into that. That's why I'm in the ashram, otherwise I would not be here if I would be stable enough. But for sure I have the excitement, and I think I have the more clarity of what I need to do in this life. And this is the most important for me.
Okay, let me ask you a question. And that would be, having listened to the last 3 days, and today in particular, what does it inspire you to? What vision does it bring to you? What vision does it inspire in you?
Well, will sound
egotistic? No.
No, but to be like you, like to.
No. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's always the aspiration of the seeker, but external to you. Your life in the world and your purpose in the world itself.
To create spaces of light with what I do, Guruji, and you know that recently I started to dare to be more visible.
Right. And how do you think from your experiences of trying to do that it may happen? What do you feel that you need to do to make it happen? Because I would love that to be part of the conversation as well. Having your previous experience, again, last year you were here, I know you're coming back. How do you feel now in terms of your empowerment to make something happen in Romania?
Well, of course, the foundation is my own transformation.
Right.
And secondary to that is to bring people together in spaces. I am very excited to create spaces of light.
Right, so let me take that one. Now, creating the physical space of light is one thing. It need not attract people. They may come 1 time, 2 times, and then they disappear. How do you create a space that's in your own country that you can sustain, that will make people come continuously? What do you feel? What is your opinion? I can tell you. But tell me what you think. How can you make a space that people will want to come? One is your own humility. You don't try to do it. You don't say, I want all these people to come, and Guruji, no, you're not sending people, the universe is not sending. You don't do that. You ensure that you do the sadhana in the space. And you fill the space with your light. And every time you do a massage, or you teach yoga, or you bring the people into meditation, you are so humble, you bring all the gurus inside and say, may your light within me help to awaken the light of others. So you get yourself out of the way. Because if you're incomplete inside and you're trying to use some law of attraction or just to trying to inspire people, it's not going to happen in the perfect way. But if you transform your life, you become more humble and you invoke the masters and you make the space of the masters, and everybody who comes, you be humble towards them and you offer them the best with your love, they'll return.
Thank you, Guruji. And I already felt that in a way, but I didn't have the words to say it. But came in within me that it's my own place of sadhana with humbleness that will attract people. And this is already happening, started in a small way in Romania.
So I offer you my blessing this time, that when you go this time, something will happen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Arti, I would like you to say a few words. And one is that you made quite a decision to come into the ashram and be with us. And I want to say how pleased I am that you've come for extended stay with us. Though you're resident in England now. And I've seen all the efforts you've been making during the period. And I think you can speak to what being in the ashram over an extended period can mean for sadhana, for your own development, and for what has been happening to you. Yeah, speak to that, being in a center of light, the Guru's home.
Thanks, Guruji. Namaskar, everyone. Guruji, I think I'll start by just saying that the thing that you spoke about yesterday and this morning, which really stayed with me and impacted me, is that, of course, centers of light start with making ourselves a center of light. And I think that has been and continues to be the most important aspect of my time here. This is the longest time that I've stayed in the ashram continuously for, and it continues to be enormously impactful. Even when I think that nothing is happening, there is something going on inside. And it's kind of hard to put it into words. I think the value of being in this space, enormous amount of awareness to really even glimpse what is happening at the various levels. And I think one of the other things is that whilst the value of this space is, of course, being around the light of the Guru and the light that is pervasive in this field, I think for me, it's not just enough to be here. It's like I have to be making right effort to align and to understand what is happening so that I can make maximum use of that. My efforts to do that, well, I continue to try to align and to try to engage with what I'm being guided to do from inside and from outside. So, I mean, the space is, as you told me recently, the space gives us what we need. It may not always be what we want. And of course, it's not always easy, but it is enormously impactful. And I think the other thing I would like to say is, based on what you said yesterday, what I've been thinking about is my impact on this space. How am I contributing to the space? Of course, it is a center of light that has been created by the Guru, but I can't just, I have to take some responsibility for my impact on this space. So.
Yeah, but the space is buffered by the energy of the Guru and the discipline that is there, and the work of all the disciples in the space. It's buffered, so your little energy fluctuation cannot make any difference to it. But the value of it is that you can add to the strengthening of the space. So every time you sit in the hall, every time you contribute to the chanting, every time you meditate, you're adding. So if you hold the consciousness that not of your little fluctuations, but you hold the consciousness that I am adding to this, then you begin to add to this space. Or make me a better instrument. You begin to add to this space. Yeah?
So, Guruji, is it wise or appropriate for me to feel an awareness of my responsibility for my impact, or not really? Is that
not really, not in this space. Not in this space. Because the impact of the space is greater than your little impact. But if you align to what is happening in the space, then it can be in resonance with what is already there. Yeah. Yeah. Would you like to say anything on this subject, Krishna Priya?
Namaskar. Namaskar, Guru and everyone. Beautiful subject, very enlightening. What it comes in my mind in this moment, it's how when I was, for example, in Romania, before meeting you physically, but having been awakened through a subtle Shakti path, how Blue Star family in Romania, by that time, helped me to transition from the other world and life habits that I was having towards a more stable and subtle space inside, ultimately until I came here and the karma would have taken me to a powerful transformation. It was a powerful support that we had by that time through the Blue Star family, through all the programs, chantings, just having somebody, a community to talk with and transition from the other friends to these friends. Because also I have a very small family, only my mother and my brother. So for me, it was not that support given by the family. So the spiritual family would have been for me what would have.
Right, so you're speaking about the community helping you to make the transition,
In
that
that time,
so we
very
do have in Romania a number of members of the Blue Star. And my aspiration is that one day we will have a center of light in Romania, because we have so much potential among the membership. And I'm hoping with Dr. Rulukas and Arpita and others, we can actually have that and let it grow.
Absolutely.
So I am blessing that.
Thank you, Guruji,
Yeah?
for the blessings.
But I want to go to Radhaji before my time is expired, because I know that's a hope for her as well. And just to speak a little bit, those of us who feel inspired to bring groups together, to make communities happen, and to create these sacred spaces, in doing so, we are aligning ourselves to the universe. So I want to congratulate all those of you who are making efforts to teach those around you, once you feel mature and strong, and make this, align yourself to the universe. Let's help those who are around us with what we have gained, what we have. Let's help those around us. So I'm hoping that this conversation will inspire us to continue to bring groups together or create spaces together where we can inspire people and where we can feel a synergistic effect of that, like Elaine was speaking about. But we need to take that responsibility of spreading the light. Once we begin to feel this powerful light within us, a responsibility comes to share that light. And the more we share, the more it will grow and the more we'll have. So Radhaji, I know that it's one of your aspirations, and I keep on blessing that. That in Holland we'll at some point we'll continue to, or we'll have a center of light, or maybe a few, that can really grow into serving community.
Yeah, thank you, Guruji, so much for this subject today, and it spoke tremendously to me. And I was thinking about your response to Haridas, and I can absolutely relate to your loving suggestion. Of course, yeah. So that's in the first place. I want to share that I heard your.
Good, I like that.
Your words. I heard your words, and at the same time, I was. I ever said when people asked me if which path I would follow or which yoga, and so what are we sharing in a new ashram-like place in Holland, and just it came up to me to thank you so much, because I owe my vitality to you. So that's in a way the entrance, the vitality of the mind, the vitality, but especially the physical, and because that was the most and the main distraction from the light that was already within. But as soon as the body start asking attention, I was out of the. I dissociate, let's say. And I learned from you and with you the last year we were on the ashram. At one point we had a meditation together and you came into the hall and something inside of me said to you, I offer you my vitality. And it makes me emotional now because that was a turning point in really a paradigm shift, because I never thought of the body as that important in bringing the light into the space.
Yeah.
So my vitality has never been so high and so bright and so beautiful. So the singing and the coaching, what Madhava does, that's what we will offer. But every time I sing and I'm on the stage, you are singing in and through me. And that's
Beautiful.
what you once said in the
Beautiful.
nectar chanting. And so let's say, you're never not inside of me as me and myself. And even when I'm not aware so much, then there's a sentence that I have to listen to. You speak inside of me. So there's not a moment you're not here. And that's what that love is what I love to share. So it gives hope, it gives life, it gives, this is the new world.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll stay with that hope, because I think more and more people need to get the message and to be a part of it. So we see how the universe makes it happen. Yeah. Thank you, Radhaji. Yeah, I think in the afternoon it would be wonderful to see those who have the aspiration to really bring people together and create spaces of light, how it can become a possibility, and to discuss it so that more ideas will flow. Because I know the aspiration is there amongst different groups. Because, for example, in Coburg in Canada, we are trying to do that. In Holland, in Tupperware, we are trying to do that. In Romania, we've been looking and thinking of doing that. In Hungary, I know Shivaji is trying to create a space. So it would be wonderful to see how do we make those spaces materialize? How do we make it happen? What are the mechanics? How can we attract those spaces? And I think that can become a nice conversation. Yeah? All right, so I'm going to go into meditation now. So the groups will have to discuss more. Or let's take Arpita before we go. Arpita, I see that your hand is up.
Namaskar, Guru.
Namaskar.
So happy to hear speak about space of light in Romania. My heart start to open and I feel so much joy. Thank you for inspiration.
Yeah, we will make it happen. We will make it happen. Yeah.
Thank you, Guru.
And perhaps even one more question. Thank you. Sudhiti, you've been trained in teaching yoga, and I know you have the potential. How can you make it happen in Florida or Virginia? Sudhiti? Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, took me a little bit to unmute.
Yeah.
I was just. Go ahead. You wanted to say.
No,
something.
you have the
Go ahead.
potential. I think your aura will amplify if you just begin to teach.
I agree, and I was just thinking when I was listening to Arpita, who I love from my yoga days in the ashram, by the way, that I have now moved to the poorest county in all of Virginia. And for me, what possibilities we have here. It's agriculturally based here still. It's still almost like you're going back in time. And here I am in a new neighborhood, and I'm starting to meet people as the universe does that. And I'm truly inspired. I was looking at a little piece of property across from me, and thinking, I might try to get that, keep it sort of natural. Can I work on something that inspires others in nature as well as in fellowship?
Yeah.
I have some issues I want to work with my own body in terms of like teaching yoga right now can be a challenge, but that I need to learn myself a little better.
But you're
absolutely,
capable of
yes.
teaching yoga to seniors even. I mean, you don't have to be
Senior
perfect,
yoga,
right?
children yoga, absolutely, absolutely. It doesn't require me to do the things I did before.
No, and even the conversation and meditation and a little chanting um, can do
I was
something.
thinking that too. Yes, when my mother was in hospice, they were bringing a music person by. And because it's mostly Christian, I brought up the Om Shri Hezu Bhagavati Namaha.
Yeah.
And we had the best time chanting that, and I could feel the energy. And I literally felt the Christ presence after my mother passed, right after her transition. So the power is there. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps all over.
Yeah.
So there's a way to connect with those in my community who
Yeah.
might not be able to go the Hindu way and the chanting way,
Yeah.
but you can share in a way that gets others excited. And you're right, your energy will draw in just
Absolutely.
by,
But once you
that's how
begin, once you initiate, the universe will do the rest.
yes, you
Yeah?
don't have to work when you're aligned. That's what I love.
Yeah. Thank you, Suriti. All right, so we'll do the Om Namah Shivaya. Those of you who may need to take a washroom break, feel free. And we will chant before the meditation. Okay, so let's come into meditation posture. Now let's meditate in the silence. Namah Shivaya. Oh, oh, Namah Shivaya. Oh, oh, Namah Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you everyone for a beautiful conversation, and I hope that we can do a little more in the afternoon. There you have the chance to meet in groups, and then of course I'm going to meet with you. So 45 minutes for your meeting and 45 minutes for my meeting with you. And I hope that that's aspiration to help others and to spread community and spread the light and synergize with those around you can be discussed in the afternoon. Now, and of course the virtual community now is becoming much more alive, like what I'm doing. And so how can we make even virtual communities express or fulfill our desire to grow in the light together? So those possibilities. Or even as an individual, if you can be strong enough in the center of your home to spread the light into your community every time you sit to meditate, not only meditate for yourself and your own self-unfolding, but also meditate for the community, that you can see changes happening in the community around you through your individual aspiration and practice. It happens in the home. In my life, in my sadhana, when I came home from India the first time, I never told my family members to join me because I don't like to impose my will on anyone. But they all started to come and sit with me until the entire household was involved in the practice. And so can we begin to change communities first with our own aspiration in our own space? Even the plants outside will change. Even the pets will change. Can we do that with our own self-power? Or can we fulfill that aspiration of spreading the light in groups around us? And finally, can we, if grace would have it, create a center of light where we can actually make it happen in a space? And that would be the object of this conversation today, and hoping that out of this conversation we can generate some more enthusiasm and motivation that we can take into making things happen. Yeah, Shreya, over to you.
There we go. So we have a lot of inspiration to go with for the afternoon. So just a reminder that we'll start back at 2 p.m. this afternoon, and then we'll go until 3:30.
Like yesterday.
Just
Yeah.
like yesterday.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a joy being with you this morning, and I look forward to the afternoon session. So stay with us. Namaskar.